I'm Dédé Wilson, and I'm going to show you how to make a large batch of brownies. And you don't even need an electric mixer. This is going to come together with a few bowls and a whisk, and you're going to get a huge batch to take to your next office party or bake sale. So the first thing you need is a jelly roll pan, just like this. We're going to bake the brownies in this pan, and this is one of the main keys to making a large batch of brownies. Because the brownies are going to be not too deep and wide, they will bake evenly. So the center of the brownies and the edges of the brownies will all be baked at around the same time, and they'll just be the best quality large batch brownies that you can make. So I have the jelly roll pan. I've lined it with parchment. So I'm just going to use a simple pan coating, and I'm going to coat the inside edges of the pan as well as the parchment with just a thin coat. Now this has two kinds of, well actually 3 kinds of chocolate in it. First, I'm going to melt some semi-sweet chocolate bulk chunks with butter along with some unsweetened chocolate. The unsweetened chocolate is in here to give maximum chocolate flavor without adding any more sweetness. So all of this can be melted in the microwave if you have it in a microwavable bowl like I do here, or you could do this in the top of a double boiler. The chocolate and the 2 kinds of chocolate and butter are melting, and now I'm going to show you what we're going to do with our dry mix. I have some all-purpose flour here and some baking powder and some salt, and I'm going to whisk that around just to combine. Now you can see there's actually not that much flour compared to that huge amount of butter and chocolate, but that's why these brownies are going to be so dense and chocolatey and rich. To our dry mix, we are going to add an entire bag of chocolate chips. This is the 3rd kind of chocolate, as I mentioned to you. And now these chocolate chips are going to get tossed with the flour, and that's going to help the chocolate chips stay suspended in the brownie mixture. I chopped 3 cups of walnuts, and I've put them in this strainer because I just want you to see what happens when you sift them a little bit. All of this little powdery stuff falls away. And that's going to not only, we don't need that in our brownies. We've taken our 3 cups of walnuts and we're just going to shake them a little bit through the strainer, get rid of the powdery part, and then they are also going to be folded in to the flour mixture with the chocolate chips. And this is now our dry mix that's going to be stirred into the chocolate mixture right before we put it into our pan. So this is a large batch, so I've got 7 large eggs in this large bowl. You have to have a large bowl for this step because everything is going to end up in this bowl. To my 7 large eggs, I'm going to add some granulated sugar, some vanilla, and actually this is 2 tablespoons of vanilla. We really want a good dose of vanilla in here. And this is optional, but if you would like to add some espresso powder, this is 2 tablespoons of espresso powder, and it's not really going to make the brownies taste like coffee. It's just going to deepen and enrichen the chocolate flavor. And then we're just going to whisk this together. Break up those eggs. And this is what I was saying in the beginning. You don't need a mixer. Just need a couple of bowls. Make sure one of them is really big, and a whisk. That's it. This is now ready for our chocolate and butter mixture. So we're just going to wait until that's melted. Here is our chocolate and butter mixture. It's come out of the microwave, or you, as I mentioned, could do it in the top of a double boiler. So this is our semi-sweet chocolate, our unsweetened chocolate, and our unsalted butter. I'm just going to whisk it together so that it is combined. Now I'm going to pour this chocolate and butter mixture into our eggs and sugar. Really helps to have an extra large rubber spatula for this, and you'll see particularly for the next step. Now I'm going to whisk this together. So now we have our eggs and sugar, our vanilla, our optional espresso powder combined with our chocolate and butter. It smells so good. This is not only going to make a large batch of brownies, but it is going to make an incredibly decadent batch of brownies. Now our dry mix. All of that is now going to go into here. That's why I said you need an extra big bowl. Look at this. These are going to be really hard to resist. And all you have to do here is fold it together just until no white streaks remain. That's it. Now we're going to pour into our prepared pan, and the oven is ready and waiting. Oh, so delicious. I wish we had smell-o-vision. So this is a small offset spatula, which is very handy to have. And if you have one, use it at this point in time to spread the brownie batter evenly. Look at that. It is made for this pan. Perfect volume of batter, filling every nook and cranny. Like with most brownies, you do not want to overbake. The brownie's baked for about 30 minutes. You want to check with a toothpick going into the center. The toothpick should come out with a few moist crumbs still clinging. Don't want to bake it until the toothpick tests clean. Then chilled, cooled on a rack. These are now cooled completely. You are going to get a minimum of 48 brownies out of this pan. I like to use one of these. This is a bench knife, sometimes also called a bench scraper. This is a metal one, and I'm going to use this as a knife. And the reason why I like them is because I can cut down on top of the brownies as opposed to dragging through, and it just makes a nice clean edge. You just go straight down, a little bit of a wiggle back and forth, straight across. But this is a great recipe for bake sales, for instance, because you do get so many out of the batch. That same little offset spatula that we use to spread the batter in is so good at helping us get them up and out of the pan. I'm Dédé Wilson, and you can find this recipe, how to make large batch brownies, at bakeopedia.com, the baker's resource.